All right, everybody. Hope you're doing well. Welcome to another We've Read the Documents live stream. I'm your host, John Brisson. I was perusing YouTube and was sitting comfy in my recliner when I saw that Jason Bermas was streaming. And he was streaming, if Kristi Noem is running in 2024, Trump should run with her. Now, a title like that, Kristi Noem's CNP, and I could prove that in a minute. A title like that, I was like, all right, I gotta listen to this, and I gotta be in the chat. Because with this video, as something that I've been talking about for months now, which is the revealing of the opportunist that Jason Bermas truly is. I've never seen a man, break both his kneecaps so fast to please his overlords. I've never seen a man, kneecaps just snap off. I'm surprised Jason Bermas can still walk after this video. And there are a lot of people that even in his own chat are starting to come against him because this is just too much. They're starting to realize that something's not right here. They're smelling it and something's wrong. And yeah, it's something wrong. Jason Bermas is standing for the CNP, the Council for National Policy. All right? So let's go ahead and start this video. All right, let's go ahead.
Hey everybody, Jason Bermas here, and no, this title is not a joke, and yes, I absolutely plan to make the case for...
So he read he was reading the chat. People were saying it's a joke, so he was reading the chat, before he started streaming, in the pre-stream, okay? And he's going to read the chat throughout it, and you see me chatting. Now, he doesn't call me out or make a really bad sour face like Jay Dyer did, but you could tell that he knows that I'm in the chat. And one of my, chats get deleted. Now, it could have been YouTube by what I said, or it could have been Bermas. I'll show you the chat that got deleted. It's controversial enough that maybe YouTube deleted it. He didn't delete any of my other chats that I've seen. I wasn't banned that I've seen. Okay, so let's see.
If, and this is a big if, but it's looking more and more likely, Kristi Noem decides to run for the presidency in 2024, Trump should step aside. In fact, should probably get behind her as soon as humanly possible, run with her and as the VP. Why? Because if there is any sincerity in what he wanted to do with this country, he would have such an opportunity to actually get things done as a commissary for the very same, at least political rhetoric in many ways that they stand for. And whether or not you believe there's any difference between the two-party system, and in a large part there is not. Let me repeat.
Oh, okay. For a large part, there isn't, but you're going to tell us why we should vote for a conservative, a CNP conservative at that? First of all, Trump is not going to get behind anybody. He ain't going to be the vice president for anyone, all right? And second, he would never be a vice president for a woman, not Trump. No. This video in and of itself is ludicrous. All right, just the video itself, just on that point alone, is ludicrous, okay? And second, Kristi Noem's a neocon. She's a neocon. And she's a Council for National Policy neocon. Look at me like right here. CNP's August meeting held panels exposing the Black Lives Matter movement, a DNC watch party hosted by Grover Norquist, and remarks from South Dakota Governor Kristi Noem, and North Carolina Lieutenant Governor Dan Forest, and Texas Lieutenant Governor Dan Patrick. So we can look right here through this August 19th, August 21 linked CNP in Arlington, Virginia meeting itinerary. And we can see who was in, who's in the CNP. Ooh, look, Sidney Powell. Ooh, in a gold circle event, giving a speech after during a speaker, a discussion panel. that during Gold Circle event, which is one of the inner circles of the CNP, Sidney Powell's given a speech. Sidney Powell still defends the Enron executive. She was a lawyer for the Enron executive. She still, defends the Enron executives. Huh. We got Jenny Beth Martin, Tea Party Patriots, the CNP op. That is, America's Frontline Doctors founder, America's Frontline Doctors, CNP Simone Gold, who was at January 6th. Oh, America's Frontline Doctors is a CNP op? Yeah, me and Davey Crocco have been talking about that for years. I call them America's fraudline doctors. And it's not that everything that they say and every single person that's in there is part of the CNP, but they're being co-opted for sure. And Simone Gold, who's the founder of America's fraudline doctors, she's CNP. So who else do we got here? We got Tom Price, former Secretary of U.S. Department of Health and Human Services. Tom Price. Tom Price speaking to the CNP. Mark, you listening? CNP Tom Price? Health and Human Services under Trump back in 2017. Tom Price, yeah. Tom Price. Had two panels. Let's see who else we got here. After Charlie Kirk speaks, CNP Charlie Kirk, Turning Point USA, we have the panel with remarks by the Honorable Kristi Noem. And CNP Dan Forrest, and CNP Dan Patrick, and CNP Tony Perkins, the past president for the Council for National Policy and the Family Research Council. So CNP. Man, Jason Bermas really didn't. Let's see if I can go back and find the clip where Billy Ray Valentine asked Jason Bermas about the CNP. And here we go. All right, everybody. Hope you're doing well. Welcome to a We've Read the Documents live stream. Good afternoon, good morning, wherever you are. I'm your host, John Brisson. Today is going to be a very short stream. When someone says something and take their today with the War Room. So yeah, why don't we begin? We'll play Billy Ray and give a little bit of context. So beforehand, Jason Bermas was discussing about the Bilderberg Group and about him investigating it. So we get a little bit of context. Always good to have context before you start a clip. You don't want to start a clip exactly when someone says something and take their words out of context. So I want to begin. It's a good idea, John.
Part of the power elite, period. And I think we're going to see that more in the months to come, especially in the Iran situation. But it really, put a spark under my ass. And Luke said, hey, do you want to come work for me? And, we started part-time. I went part-time or full-time with him in March, a little over about a year and a half plus ago. It was almost 15, 16 months in. And unfortunately, with all the demonetization, et cetera, it was tougher to make a living. So I said, you know what, I guess I'm going to have to try to do this on my own. And, through the grace of whatever's out there. And, I'm a pretty agnostic guy. I do believe there's something else out there. I've been doing videos 7 days a week now from my own channel that I resurrected. I had the thing since 2007. I hadn't posted on it since 2012. I started posting part-time, and now we're doing 3 to 7 videos a day, and we're kicking them out. And it's not
since 2012, since the fall, the false New Age prediction of the Mayan calendar of 2012, December. Since 2012, that's a weird year just to stop. Jason? Never caught that before, but looking back on it now, that's odd.
Not about left or right. It's always been about right and wrong. And through technology now, man, I've got 4 monitors in front of me. I broadcast in high def. I put the information right in your face. In a lot of ways, I feel this is so superior.
I do appreciate, Jason, on the appearance that you are against the right-left paradigm. Okay, I do appreciate. How much has this changed? A year and a half? How much has this changed, huh? It's really changed. That. even though you do seem to harbor more about discussing the crimes of the globalists and the liberals. But you are, from what I've seen, not a strong fan of the Trump administration, and I appreciate that. Boy, has that changed. Boy, has that also changed. Whew. Ooh, what a year and a half will make, huh? Won't yoking up with the Reawaken America tour and Clay Clark and Alex Jones again and Michael Flynn and getting your bread buttered again? Oh, you know who gives you the bacon, how you bring home the bacon, don't you, Jason? Yeah, you get CNP, opportunist you are. Oh, what a time has changed. The moment you can get that bacon, the moment you just had to drop to your knees so fast, your kneecaps break for that bacon. So I give you props, when they're due.
Superior to what I was doing over at InfoWars when I was the first guy that Alex Jones gave a show to, the Info Warrior. So actually I was able to get that back. And if you want to subscribe, it's youtube.com/InfoWarrior.
Well, I for one, am very happy that you're doing it on your own. Not to say that you had any chains on you back then, but you can do whatever it is you want to do right now. And I'm happy to see you back, man. I can honestly say that. Also, you mentioned the Bilderberg group, right? Mm-hmm. And this is not why I wanted to have you on, but you went there, so let's go there. Mm-hmm. We'll see where this goes. You mentioned the Bilderberg group, mm-hmm. And I said, I think about 2 weeks ago here on air, that maybe the Bilderberg group isn't even what it's cracked up to be at this point in time. Just because you remember back in the day.
So look at Jason's face. This is why it's important. He instantly dismisses it. Bilderberg Group's at the top. It's at the top. He's wondering what Billy Ray's angle is there. You can see it in his eyes when they squint, okay? And in his body language when his jaw tightens up. That's true. He's getting ready for the question. And he swings his head back and forth. No, he's singing. The Bilderberg is very important, Billy. What's your angle? What are you getting at here?
That everyone would deny its existence or not even cover it.
Okay, he's agreeing with that because it's true. People used to not cover the Bilderberg Group.
No one ever even, no news organization, CNN, what the Bilderberg Group, what are you talking about? And all of a sudden it got pushed, and in large part by the work of a lot of people, it got pushed out there that they were forced to cover it. But now that we know, right, and they're putting out membership lists and they're putting out agendas so we can know what's going on. Now that we know, maybe they've taken this and...
See, look at Bermas's eyes. He knows he's about to get hit with something. He knows. Now, what does he know he's about to get hit with? Does he know that he's about to get the CNP question? I don't know. But he knows that Billy Ray's setting him up. He's setting him up for the question.
Run somewhere else. Meaning... Not that good that big stuff doesn't go down at Bilderberg, but now I'm looking at this Council for National Policy.
Oh, CNP. I mean, listen. Let's say that. Listen, Council for National Policy. You could talk about the Israeli power structure.
Okay, so instantly, and that's very interesting. Oh, you could talk about the CNP, and let's lump them in with the Israeli power structure. And I'm not saying that there are major Zionists in the Council for National Policy and they're pushing for Zionism. I'm not saying that at all. But look how that's a deflection, okay? You could talk about the CNP. You could talk about this. You could talk about that. Maybe it's on. Maybe it's on. I don't know, Jason. Come on. Stop dodging me and come on and speak with me. Been 2 years. Been 2 years. It's been 2 years. Nothing. He hasn't blocked me yet. He probably will. But 2 years. Just a simple sit-down conversation. That's all it's got to be, Bermas. That's all it's got to be. But you know what won't happen? Because I'll expose you in front of every single person that you are the opportunist that you are. That's why it won't happen. You take that CNP money. That's all I'm asking. We can do it on your channel. I don't mind. I really don't. I like your Epstein coverage. I think it lacks a lot of the Trump parts of it, but that's just me. Let's talk about it, all right? I don't mind doing that.
Absolutely there, too. I mean, you could talk about a lot of these different roundtable groups, but let me tell you why I don't believe that. First of all,
Okay, so he's going to dismiss all the other roundtable groups and go straight for the Bilderbergs. What about La Circle? We know even less about La Circle, the Bilderberg of the right, the Bilderberg that's above the CNP. Yeah, so let's completely dismiss the other side of the world order. Just nah. You can talk about you can roundtable this, roundtable that. Oh, is that what you mean, Bermas, or not what you mean? Because around the time you were the info warrior, Alex Jones was getting kind of hammered about his connections to the Council for National Policy. I'm pretty sure you were witness to that. Is that a reason, Jason? If it's by people like Derek in the Midwest, by people like Lee Rogers, and by people like Josh Reeves, not, talk to me.
Bilderberg this year, other than Charlie Skelton, none of the mainstream media really touched it, but in passing. Now, the year before, I'll give the Daily Mail credit. They did get somebody in on the inside, but they weren't able to hear or observe everything. Now, don't get me wrong. There are a lot of these, presentations where it's kind of like, TED Talks for billionaires, et cetera, et cetera.
Oh, yeah, the CNP is a TED Talk for billionaires. It's a TED Talk for billionaires, So when the billionaires get together, they just have someone give a speech. It's not the Council for National Policy. Not where they discuss both national policy and international affairs. Not where Oliver North was giving briefings to the CNP about Iran-Contra and raising funds for Iran-Contra, which you talk a lot about. But you leave that part out, Jason, all the time. So no, it's not that. Or when Ronald Wilson Reagan was getting some of his briefing. All right, I'll put this in the chat. You can watch this video, but obviously Bermas dances and wiggles and dances around it and deflects. And then later tries to equate it to an anti-Semitic conspiracy theory talking about the CNP.
Repeat that. There is not. But I saw a significant difference in the standard of living under Trump than the previous administration, period. And I don't think that's deniable. I also saw for the first time in my life a president acknowledge the military-industrial complex and speak out against globalism at the World Economic Forum, coincidentally after being introduced by Klaus Schwab. Now, I've never really gotten behind DeSantis. When he does something good, I agree with it, but I talk about a lot of his other problems. I think one of the big problems that you're going to see with Kristi Noem that's not going to be brought up is, in fact, the same kind of thing that was wrong with Donald Trump in foreign policy. In fact, earlier this week, we discussed the Soleimani killing and then that supposed leaked report of assassinations, right? I don't necessarily love her foreign policy, but when it comes to standing up against lockdowns, she did the best, period. I visited...
All right. He may have deleted my chat. It's not there anymore. So either he did or YouTube hasn't fully loaded the chat yet. I'll go back and check and see. But it looks like my chats have been deleted because after where it says Skynet TM two-party illusion, which is right here, I mentioned CNP Kristi Noem. I really hope Bermas is joking, but I doubt it. And the next Tiger Woods says Klaus Schwab should run her as vice president. Where's my tweet? I mean, where's my chat? Where's my chat at? Where's my chat? It ain't there anymore. Where's my chat? Where's my chat? Are all my chats gone? Bermas, did you go back and delete all of them? Because I got you deleting the Roger Stone one. But now they're all gone. Oh, Jason. Is it you or is it YouTube? Did YouTube just wait to load my chat into the chat replay? Maybe we'll see in a few hours. But it looks like to me, you deleted them, bud. You deleted them. Let's see if you banned me on Twitter. Oh, you banned me on Twitter, didn't you, bud? Oh, yeah. Let's see. Maybe you didn't. Maybe you did. Let's see right here. Let's see. Oh, not yet. But that might be coming.
South Dakota, I'd say my governor here, Governor Kim Reynolds, and her absolutely 100% did the best. And by the way, why are people speculating that she's running? Well, we're going to play this ad that she's now taken out in ad space in places like Iowa and New Hampshire that are early adopters of this system, right, via the primaries, right? They're campaigning through. And, it's a pretty good ad. We're going to play that whole ad. And then I'm also going to point to a pretty big, a fluff piece in many ways, but a piece by CBN, Christian Broadcasting Network, that not only brings up what she did during lockdowns, but then talks about the food supply. And that's really where she has me sold. And I'll bring up the Trump angle in a moment. She's a farmer. She gets it. She understands food production.
She's a farmer, you guys. She understands. Okay, she's elitist. Right here, Marcus. She's a corporatist. What up? Why? What, Jason? What? She's a corporatist. She really gets it. She's every woman. She's a common woman. She's every woman for everybody. Not that she's not. No. Not she's in CNP. Oh no, not no. And if anybody asking, I commented on my account on my phone. This is the We Read the Documents. This is a all different YouTube sign in. So it's not that. So yeah, my comments, they should be up.
I don't think she wants to starve us out. And I think that she's also kind of the antithesis, if she's the first woman president, of everything that Hillary Clinton represented, right? It's a woman who, is part of a family farm and business, in Congress, becomes governor. And again, it's not just my opinion.
I don't think I'm shadow banned, Jenny, and this is why. Because all my people could see my chats, because someone addressed me in the chat. So they could see my chats. Because someone said, like, John added me, why are you here? So I wasn't shadow banned. And then later, my Roger Stone chat got deleted. So I wasn't shouting. If someone addresses me in the chat.
I lived it. I came to South Dakota. And the normalcy there, you go watch my videos back in July of 2020, right? Outside at a park, those people were saying they were reasonable. It's a big deal. So if you had Trump come in on this Trump tour that's already huge, that's huge. And look, let's give the guy his ego.
See, look right here. Keaton, at John Brisson, unfortunately it looks like it, referencing me saying Bermas has likely sold out to the CNP. All right? Bermas is an opportunist. He knows whom butters his bread, the CNP, Michael Flynn, and Alex Jones. And then Keaton asks me and says, unfortunately, it looks like it, man. And then Ryan, messages, John, why are you here? So I wasn't shadow banned. People were replying to me. And you can look in here where it looks like Bermas is reading the chat. He looks kind of taken back. Like he doesn't expect me to be there.
Right? Because, again, on the issues, these guys are supposed to be simpatico, right? Totally in coercion with one another. And, one night Christie closes and one night Trump closes. And that way they're not battling on the debate stage, right? Because I think this is a big deal. Look, I like Rand Paul. He'll probably run as well. I'd love to see Rand Paul as part of the administration. I'd like to see him as like Secretary of State.
CNP Rand Paul, Secretary of State.
I'd like to see who else? I'd like to see maybe Mike Lee in there. I maybe bring General Flynn back as Secretary of Defense. I
spit water everywhere at that point. Literally. No, not figuratively, literally spit water because I couldn't. The audacity of Jason Bermas, the self-labeled Q Slayer, okay, who finished the QAnon operation. Oh, Michael Flynn should come back as Secretary of Defense. Get out of here.
Totally in coercion with one another. And, one night Christie closes and one night Trump closes. And that way they're not battling on the debate stage, right? Because I think this is a big deal. Look, I like Rand Paul. He'll probably run as well. I'd love to see Rand Paul as part of the administration. I'd like to see him as like Secretary of State, okay? I'd like to see who else? I'd like to see maybe Mike Lee in there. I maybe bring General Flynn back as Secretary of Defense. If somebody's got a better Secretary of Defense, I was actually thinking about it, and I was thinking John Kiriakou, formerly of the CIA, the whistleblower on the waterboarding, he would be a good Secretary of Defense. Somebody with some morality and integrity. And that group...
You mentioned Flynn. Flynn doesn't have any of that. He just butters your bread when you go speak at the Reawaken America tours with Clay Clark, and Flynn's there. You know Flynn was involved in the QAnon operation, Jason. You opportunist sellout. Oh, there's so many words I could call you that I'm trying not to curse right now. I'm so mad and angry of how much of a... I mean, you've always been a sellout. If I talk to someone like Derek in the Midwest, for example, you've been a sellout since the early 2010s. This is nothing different. You just disappeared because you were getting caught out left and right by people like Derek and just getting utterly destroyed as the opportunist and sellout you are. So you had to take a break, and then you came back, didn't you? You came back to do Jason. There's no such thing as a right-left paradigm, and I have problems with Alex Jones and Trump's not our guy. Well, look, you came all the way back full circle, 360 degrees, didn't you? The original info warrior. Huh?
Would be pretty unstoppable if they found a way to get in the White House and really circumvent all these other tools of election disruption, in my opinion. So let's get to it. Let's play Kristi Noem and her new ad here and see what you guys think.
Get back on that horse and ride. It's what my father taught me since I was a little girl. His sweat built our ranch and his love held our family together. But it all came crashing down when Dad died in a tragic accident. I lost my hero, and we nearly lost our livelihood. Through grit and God's grace, we kept going, and our ranch was saved. Over the last 2 years, South Dakotans faced dark days. But as Dad always said, we don't complain about things, we fix them. And we did. I held the reins and refused to let fear steal our freedom. And today, we've hit our stride. South Dakota has the best economy in the nation. We're #1 in tourism, and more families are choosing to make our state home than ever before. Here, freedom runs free. So saddle up. We're just getting started.
Governor Kristi Noem.
Now, if that's not an I'm running for president type of ad, I don't know what is, #1. But she was demonized constantly in the media. I mean, constantly in the media for what her policies were during the COVID-19 84 nightmare. That part is undeniable. Okay, it's undeniable. We can't put that aside. And you can try to, but that's the truth. So another great thing about Trump and Kristi Noem running together is, let's say they got in. Trump's not handling all these press conferences. He could really be a global emissary for the policies. And maybe we could get back to some, sanity in our foreign policy. And now, I'm also going to play part of this CBN piece. And again, pretty big fluff piece. But her talking about food and those policies, I think, is important. So let's flip over to there. Thumbs it up, subscribe, and share. Remember, we're pretty damn, not only demonetized for a very, very long time, but censored on this. And we have to be careful even now.
Now he's gonna play a clip from the CNP Christian Broadcasting Network.
Now, with videos like this one on YouTube, there are certain things you just cannot acknowledge. So please consider Rumble, Rockfin, Podbean, and beyond, and supporting this broadcast by buying me a coffee.
And I'm not saying everything that CBN puts out as a Christian. I'm not going to say it's all of it is garbage. But them trying to pimp out Kristi Noem, that's just CNP garbage. Pat Robinson's CNP, that's CNP garbage. You're literally watching CNP garbage put forth by the CBN News Network. All right?
$5, $10, $15, it means the world to me.
Leadership during the pandemic thrust her into the national spotlight, especially her refusal to enforce federal mask mandates and shut down business.
Well, I really felt like during the pandemic, we saw the best of South Dakota. We saw people that had faith in each other, faith in...
at John Brisson. Unfortunately, it looks like it, man. John, why are you here? Where's my where am I in the chat? Where do you see John Brisson anywhere in the chat? Where am I? I don't see myself in the chat. Where am I, chat? Where am I? I'm the only person in the chat that didn't load up.
God. And they really partnered in a way that was pretty inspiring for the rest of the country to watch.
Today, she and Lieutenant Governor Larry Roden, a third-generation cattle rancher, are running the show, with farming, cattle ranching, and the nation's food supply at the top of their priority list.
I just have recognized for many, many years that the country that feeds itself controls its own future.
Really? Wow, the country that feeds itself controls its own future. And once again, you could try to sit there and be in denial. And look, I don't like Republicans. I don't like Democrats. I'm not a conservative. I'm not a liberal.
I'm not any of these things, guys, but I'm yoked up with the Clay Clark Reawaken America tour, and I'm pushing for CNP Republican conservative candidates. You know, I really like Kristi Noem, and I really like Ron DeSantis. I don't question Ron DeSantis, though, but he's okay. And Alex Jones and Michael Flynn and Mike Lee and all these CNPers, I mean, they're really good guys. They're really good guys and good gals, and they're our guys and our gals, guys. And gee golly, Willikers, you should trust them. I'm not for right or left, but I'm really naming a whole bunch of CNPers that I just think you should vote for. You should put all your faith in. You put your faith in man and not God, because I'm Jason Bermas.
But as everybody knows, I recently spoke on the Reawaken America tour. I'm going to be doing so again in August. This time I'm going to talk about the true deep state, national security state, continuity of government, all right, and how they've maneuvered this now into signature reduction. And I need these people to start paying attention to that and dismantling and exposing that system. Trump completely failed on Julian Assange and Edward Snowden. That's a fact, Jack, and we talk about that. But I was having, I had a really brief conversation at the meeting.
That's what you hinge Trump's failures on, is the limited hangout Julian Assange. That's what, not OWS and OTS or OTK, not ODS, OWS and OTK. That's not, for
greet before the event with Roger Stone. And in that conversation, he asked me who I thought would be better than Trump, because I said, look, Trump 2024, I'm not sold. I said Rand Paul. He said he's not good enough on TV. Well, this woman is good enough on TV. She will be tough as nails. And I think in many ways better than Trump at these press conferences, because these guys are going to come at her, and these guys and gals are going to come at her like vipers. Believe it. It'll be the opposite of the Zombie J administration. If you can't see that you want somebody that's at least...
Didn't Jason Bermas extensively cover NXIVM? Of course, Roger Stone, laugh out loud, because, of course, a lifelong crook who allegedly runs a Roy Cohn blackmail wing, and it was a brief lobbyist for NXIVM. NXIVM and Stone! NXIVM and Stone. Roger Stone is corrupt as they come. So we have Jason Bermas, the QAnon destroyer, and we have Jason Bermas, the NXIVM destroyer. But yet, he just chats with good old Roger. Oh, hey, Roger, what's going on? Let's get some, domestic policy advice and foreign policy advice. I'm not so sure about that Trump, even though I shill for him every chance I get. And the worst thing he did was Julian Assange. Come on, guys, it's Julian Assange, you guys. It's not everything else. It's not kowtowing to Israel or the Pope or the Vatican or Trump's disastrous foreign policy or Trump not fulfilling hardly anything when it comes to domestic policy and illegal immigrations year after year, not being curtailed like he said it was going to be. Trump was a joke. He's a CNP joke and a sellout. And he was always an insider. He's been an insider. He's their guy. He's literally their guy. I can't.
There to feed her people over the next installed puppet. I don't know what to tell you. And again, I think it gives Trump the opportunity to, he wouldn't even be in the background. Can you imagine the media bonanza if he were to take a step back from his ego and do this? This would be huge if the goal, was really to benefit us, the American people, and they were sincere about their platforms. I'm just pointing that out. So let's go back to Kristi Noem talking about the food supply and controlling it.
But if we start importing food from another country, then they control us. And we are getting dangerously close to that. And we're seeing supply chain issues.
Noem also recently signed legislation making girls' sports solely for biological
Were you looking
females.
at the chat, Bermas?
And as of this
Were you
June,
looking at the chat,
no
Bermas?
abortions are being performed
Were you looking at the
in
chat,
South Dakota.
Bermas?
And by the way, listen, I want to play this because obviously this is the Christian Broadcasting Network. And obviously there's going to be a lot of things with Kristi Noem that are going to be too conservative for moderate voters. And the media is constantly going to be running with this story of she's going to take abortions all the way away with an executive order. Now, I don't know if that's possible, and I'm not going to make the argument that maybe that isn't a possibility. But again, so many people have swayed the other way at this point, and we're now seeing different states via this Roe versus Wade decision. I think that's going to be a main media attack point.
When I ran for governor, I told the entire country I wanted to be the most pro-life governor in the country that we've ever had. And we're very proud of the fact that today we cherish our children in South Dakota.
But it hasn't been all wins for Noem. Her attempts to forge new relationships with South Dakota's Native American Indians were not well received.
There's a lot of healing that needs to happen there. And I talk a little bit in my book about some of the roadblocks that I've run into when it comes to the tribal council.
Although she's running for another term as governor, conservatives inspired by her strong leadership style have urged a run for the White House.
I don't have any plans to do that. I very much am looking forward to hopefully serving the people of South Dakota another 4 years. I hope they'll trust me to do that. I've also known that we'll see what God has planned to.
See what I'm saying? And like, again, on the CBN, what does God have planned? Hopefully, I'm be here another 4 years, but what does God have planned? So in many ways, I think that she is
Mocking God, huh? Mocking God, huh, Bermas? Oh, look, I'm not here to judge Kristi Noem. I'd be surprised if she was born again, but I'm not here to make a decision on that. Okay. But like, really, Bermas? Really? Okay.
setting up the possibility for a presidential run. I think Trump should run with it. I think they should run together. I think that's a powerhouse of a ticket. I think that the media is going to be running again on her ultra-conservative values, again trying to demonize her for being anti-Faucian authoritarian, anti-UN, anti-you-know-who-ski. You-know-who-ski. Can't be against them on YouTube. And by the way, this will be the other great media talking point. She's on horses a lot, folks. You betcha. Putin sympathizer. Look at that man raw with a horse right there. That's where it's going to be at. Guys.
Well, that turned homoerotic.
You know the drill. All my documentary films are, in fact, free. Let's go all the way back up here. Kristi, look at that. Boom. Loose Change, Final Cut, Fabled Enemies, Invisible Empire, A New World Order to Find and Shade the Motion Picture. Watch them. Share them. Okay? Utilize that information to open conversations with other people. Because like I said, look, we got a lot wrong in this country. And you could sit here and act like elections don't matter on some level, but you get the right people in, and at least you get some truth out there. And you get people's minds working. And right now, this isn't just, Clay Clark, I don't agree with everything he has to say, but Clay Clark's out there, and he's trying to save the country. I don't know if the country is actually going to be able to be saved.
Clay Clark's trying to save the country. Michael Flynn should be Secretary of Defense. Trump should be Vice President or President. CNP Kristi Noem should be President. And there's your sign. I was talking to Roger Stone the other day and we were getting into some domestic policy of who should run for president. There's your sign. What, dude, I could literally put up a clip of Jason Bermas in his own words. And it's enough for anybody that really, truly, understands about the Council for National Policy in Los Raquel and how they run, a majority of the truth movement. Freemasonry, the Jesuits, the Swiss, the Zionists, all of them, which stuff that Jason Bermas really doesn't talk about at all. Yeah. All right, Jason. Still everybody looks like CNP adjacent. Rockfin, steer everybody to there.
Saved, but I want the best for humanity, and that entails trying. So thumbs it up, subscribe, share, check all that stuff out. $5, $10, $15, it means the world to me. The Buy Me a Coffee is down below. Rockfin, Podbean, and Rumble, Tumble, Riggedy-Roo. That's how you can follow me.
Someone's chat said, "Really, Bermas is for Trump? Thought you saw through that Benedict Arnold Bermas." Benedict Arnold Bermas.
Uncensored, in case I get kicked off this platform again, which could absolutely happen. Thanks for joining me. It is not about left or right. That's not what this video is about.
No.
This is about people
vote for
that
CNP
might
candidates, though.
genuinely
That's
care
right.
About
That's
humanity
right.
and this
Christopher
country, just
Noem
pointing that
and
out
Mike
how
Flynn
we
and
could
Clay
maybe get
Clark
behind it. That's
and
all
Mike
this is.
Lee
So I love you.
all
and
care
I'll see you
about
on the
America.
flip side.
That's right. That's right. It ain't about right and left, you guys. They all care about America. America. A whole bunch of neocon conservatives care about America. Not them evil demon rats. Them conservatives really care about America. And I end with that. I'm done. I'm out. I got nothing else. Hey, Bermas, I'm here at any point in given time you want to debate. You want to have a discussion. I'm here. You won't do it because you would have to... I would destroy you so unbelievably bad. It'd be like Batman metaphorically breaking Bane's back over his knee, okay? That's how bad that you would get destroyed in this debate mentally. It'd be that bad. That bad. You wouldn't be able to crawl back to those who butter your bread. So you won't do it because they butter your bread. You opportunist. Yeah, S90. It's not light left versus right. It's dark versus light. Oh, that's what he's gonna say next, right? That's what he's gonna say, right? That's what he's gonna say next, S90, isn't it? That's what he's gonna. It's not light. It's not light versus left versus right. It's dark versus light, you guys. It's good versus evil, and we gotta make sure we put Trump in office because he's one of the good ones. He's one of the good ones. He's gonna say that, S90. Bermas is gonna say that. Bermas is so gonna say that. You're 100% right. That's what he's gonna say. It's not left versus right. It's dark versus light. It's good versus evil. And we know who's on the light. It's a Great Awakening side. It's a Great Awakening versus the Great Reset. Yeah, I mean, Michael. It's fault, light, and dark versus the truth. Yeah. Truth being God and Jesus Christ. But what S90 was trying to get across is that he's going to eventually say it's not left versus right, it's dark versus light. Bermas will say that in the next few months, likely. Mark my words. S90's right about that. Because he's already part of the Clay Clark We Awaken America tour. How could he not? How could he not? How could he not? All right, everybody, that's it. That's all I got. I had to come here and give commentary to this because it is just Jason Bermas destroys himself in his own words. I didn't even have to say nothing. It just played his clip. So bad. So damning. Flynn should be Secretary of Defense? Flynn should be facing a jury of his peers and hopefully be charged for treason and spending a life in prison. That hopefully someone will minister to him in prison and he'll get saved. That should be Flynn's, that should be what happens to him. That should be, God's, vengeance and retribution on Mike Flynn. But no, it's, I don't think that's going to be it. I think, he eventually will, give vengeance. Vengeance is mine, saith the Lord, and we should pray for Michael Flynn that he gets saved because he's a New Age theosophist. But I don't think, that's not what's going to happen. At least I don't see that's what's going to happen. All right, that's it. Take care, buddy. God bless.